morning. So it's 7:51, it's Saturday morning, and we're on the Lee and Charket circular. I feel like it's going to rain. And we're on the Lee and Charket circular. Good for the soul. I'm going to stay there. I just saw a squirrel. Cut through. It's a perfect cut through. You don't often see a Stars and Stripes in a picturesque little house in Kent. Like I say, I feel like it's going to rain. It's due to start raining at about 1 p.m. And let's just shut this gate properly. It's due to start raining at about 1 PM, but I've felt a few spots here and there already, so there may be a quick dash to get the old umbrella out. Now, this is St Mary's. It's one of the prerequisites of doing these walks in Kent that you will find yourself walking around a lot of graveyards, because it's still very traditional here. It's very old English, and so yeah, every 5 minutes you'll see a church, some more beautiful than others, some more open and welcoming than others, but they all have their place in history and in the history of this country and the people that made this country over the centuries. Sometimes it's staring you right in the face. What seems like somebody's garden actually turns out to be the path you're meant to be on. It can get a little confusing at times. Oh, that is a tight squeeze with the old backpack on. So anyway, like I say, this is the Lee and Charcot circular. It's going to be about 8.5k, 9k, probably about 12k if I keep getting lost, which we all know I will. Wow, this is quite an open expanse of land. Yesterday we did the Medway River and Nettlestead Place circular, and it turned out to be about 30 degrees yesterday, and again today it's grey, overcast. It's due to rain at about 1 o'clock, and it's funny, the weather in this country at the moment, it just changes on a, what do the Americans say, changes on a dime. And yeah, so you can't, it's difficult, you have to sort of bring every precaution with you just in case. But, you know, we're out, it's not raining yet, we're amongst it, and that's the important thing. It's quite cool as well, because it's early, it's quite cool, so sure it'll be fine. That's been there a long time, hasn't it? So later on I've got some bits and pieces to collect. I've got to go and get my fire maple frying pan to go with my gas stove, and I've also got to collect a little, you know, one of those little camping tables, sort of really low to the ground. And like I said in the last film, bit by bit I feel like we're getting ever closer to the Scotland trip, ever more prepared for the Scotland trip, and I'm both excited and nervous at the same time, because obviously it's a bit out of my comfort zone, and well, not comfort zone, but it's not something I've done before, just disappearing and trekking off into the Highlands, but I feel like it's going to be good. Well, I hope so anyway. Okay, here we go. We're in the woods, and immediately walking straight through cobwebs. There's a little bridge. Let me turn it around. A tiny little bridge. Not for going over, obviously, because of the barbed wire there. I feel like that that little bridge would have been an ideal impromptu campsite for the kind of people that like to just go mad and pick random spots and get out a tent or a tarp or whatever. I think yeah. What was that thing? What was that story when we were kids? Was it about the troll that lived under the bridge? It's quite muddy, this one, so far. There's a... Oh, it's not terrible, but as you can probably see by my walking, you've got to keep kind of jumping over it a little bit. Now, right in front of me, just over here, there's a cow field. And this is probably the closest I've come to animals yet, if I'm honest, apart from some sheep maybe. So as soon as we get a gap in the fence, I'll turn it around and show you. Here we go. There's quite a few of them. Anyway, we'll leave them to it. So if you decide to do this route, it's you sort of start off at Leigh Station, that's Leigh, not to be confused with Leigh-on-Sea in Essex. This is Leigh in Kent. And you sort of walk, first of all, the first kilometre, you're walking up to where that church where I started the film. You walk through one of the nicest housing estates I've ever seen. It's got some really beautiful houses, but it's just a pass through to get to the beginning. When you think about how much wildlife must be hiding in there. I mean, it's absolutely heaving with ferns. There's all sorts of things living in that. And also in these woods, I would imagine. There's all sorts of things in here as well. So compared to the last couple of hikes, which were, I think, a 14 kilometre and a 10 kilometre, this one is relatively short, coming up to 9. Well, it feels short to me now after having done some 12s and 14s in recent weeks. So it's relatively short, this one, but nonetheless it's still worth doing. They're all worth doing because you always see something new. You always see something you've never seen before, or something that just looks different. And as I've said a million times, it's good for the soul. So, going straight ahead. Are we? No, we're not. Of course we're not. Don't be silly, Paul. So we're out of the woods, back in the fields, which means walking through the wet grass. It's not too bad, actually. Like I say, it feels quite warm, so it's quite nice to have a pair of shorts on, and I feel it just brushing against your It sounds a bit weird, doesn't it? I feel it brushing against your legs. Let's see what this view's like, shall we? So, this field I'm walking through, there's no actual defined path. Again, it's one of those where the line is drawn, but there's no way to see where you're meant to be walking. You have to just constantly keep your eye on the map. Fortunately, it's satellite map, so you can see, you know, the things around trees and buildings and stuff. So that's definitely another gunshot. So we're heading towards this tree here. Let's see if we don't get shot first. Of course, bad thing is I don't even know where that's coming from. I mean, it could be anywhere, because obviously sound travels, but someone somewhere is shooting, which is always a bit anxious, makes you a bit on edge. I'm almost wondering if this path is taking me back to the field we just walked past with all the cows in it. I'll be honest, it's quite hard work, you know, walking through a field with grass that long. It actually takes it out of you a little bit. Fortunately, my waterproof hiking trainers have at least kept my feet dry. Not going to say to them, but my feet are bone dry. I don't think I'll ever get used to walking through what is effectively, feels like anyway, somebody's garden. I know it's not, but I don't think I'll ever get used to that. I keep feeling some spits of rain as well, which is not going to bode well for the walk. Anyway. Hopefully, if it does rain, hopefully if it does rain we'll be in the woods when it does, and that'll give us some kind of shelter. I mean, I've got an umbrella and stuff, but it's the camera is the problem, because it's not a waterproof camera, you see, and so that's the issue. If ever there's going to be rain, you have to sort of plan ahead for that. Otherwise you've wasted 500 quid. Just saw a squirrel climb up there. There he is. There he is. Now I've come into the woods, but I don't think I'm meant to be. I think I'm meant to be edging this field. Unless there's a path that I've missed. Yes, there is. But it looks quite overgrown. So we'll stick in the field and hope we're going the right way. We've now got to circle all of this, or circumnavigate I should say, all of this field. When we get to the end, we've got sort of bare right and then bare left by that tree. So it's getting a bit squelchy, so obviously when it gets squelchy in long grass you've got to be careful of bogs. And I was watching some wild bear videos last night on YouTube, and if you get a chance, if you haven't seen her films already, please do give them a watch, because they're probably the best films on the web at the moment, but certainly on YouTube, with regard to sort of camping and, well, all the crazy stuff she does. But yeah, I was watching one of hers where she literally just put one foot in front of the other in grass like this and went up to her waist. I think we're doing all right so far. It seems pretty firm underfoot. All I can hear is crickets. Almost looks like a ready-made spot for a wild camp, doesn't it? Surrounded on three sides with an entrance and an exit. It's not an entrance, it's private. You can see there's a barbed wire fence that's been trashed, but if it wasn't, you could probably get away with a cheeky little wild camp in there. It's hard work. It's really hard work. I'm sure there's more to this walk than this, because I've read some good reviews about it, saying it's beautiful. So let's see. What's this? go, you have been warned. Private wood, keep out. That's a bit mean, isn't it? It's just a bit mean. It's nice to have a minute out of that grass. Be on something a little bit more flat and open. It looks like we're going to do a little detour here through the woods that they just said were private. I think it's only a little cut through to get to the other side of the field, but that doesn't look right. What do you reckon? Certainly one of those planks is about to go. So there's a tree just up here, just ahead of us, and I think that's the halfway mark. I don't know if it's intentionally the halfway mark, but it is, which I think is as good a place as any to stop and have a coffee. So that is what we will do. No, we're at the halfway mark right now. So this is the halfway mark. Just a few metres shy of the tree. So let's have a cup of coffee quickly. Cheers. There's a squirrel on that tree, right at the bottom of the tree, and he's just hung there staring at me and then gone to another tree. There's another gunshot. I hope the camera's picking them up, because if I do end up brown bread off this walk, then at least we'll know how it happened. That was loud. That was really loud. There's somebody in that woods shooting. So as soon as there's somebody out there going crazy with a shotgun, it's probably a good time to move, isn't it? Just in case, because I don't know where it is. And we're back in the long grass. Now, any second now, we're going to have to go back into this field on the left. I can see a footpath sign, but I can't see any way in. But these are quite often really quite well hidden, these things. Oh yeah, there it is. There we go. Oh, and look at that. That's a perfect cut through. You couldn't ask for anything more. Now, what the hell's happened here? I mean, has somebody just dived into it or something? Like it's a corn style mosh pit. Now, I won't lie to you, that does not look particularly stable. It's got a nail and a screw in it, and that's it. Let's make sure we're walking in the right direction. You see that whole flock just circling the woods. Never seen anything like that before. There's so many of them, and they're not really going anywhere. They're just circling above the woods. Like I've walked into an Alfred Hitchcock movie. I've really got to listen out for the cars because I can't see anything coming because we're on a curve. Like that and that. I mean, there is a bit of verge here to jump into, but they weren't going slow. Right. So I just thought to myself, there's that smell again that I keep smelling on these walks, and lo and behold, there it is. So now we know that that smell is most definitely sheep shit. Morning chaps, have a nice day. Looks like we've just walked into a rugby club. It does make you realise when you come into these woods how quickly nature would regain from humans if we weren't here. So we're into the woods in a relatively wide open path. We're going uphill a little bit. I'm sure the heavy breathing has picked up. There's a sign there that says private land, but this is the way this is taking us, so it must be a public footpath. One of the biggest problems I've had when I've been editing the films is the fact that the heavy breathing picks up so much, it kind of detracts from the walk. I'm sitting there and all I can hear is the heavy breathing. So, in order to counter that a little bit, I figured if you're not just hearing it, if you've got the face on camera at the same time, you can see why. You can see why the heavy breathing's happening. So let us know if that works better. I'm gonna have to swap hands holding the camera because my arm's killing me. Let's have a little look around, shall we? I can hear the road not far from here, so I don't think we're going to be in the woods for very long. It's a bit slippery underground here. Yeah, I can see cars going past, so I think we're going to be out of here pretty soon. It's crazy how you find yourself going uphill without it looking like you're going uphill. You can only really tell by the extra effort you've got to make and the fact that it makes you breathe heavier. But you wouldn't know otherwise. If you just looked at it, you'd think it was flat. Yeah. So we've seen some sheep and some cows, some squirrels and a lovely little dog. And that's not bad. And did I say squirrels? Anyway, that's not bad, is it? For a couple of hours walking. No deer today. Haven't seen any deer. Squirrel running around in there. So we're at 7 kilometres now. What did I say it was? About 9k. So a couple of k to go. And then home for some Saturday morning breakfast. Nice coffee, maybe some eggs, that kind of thing. So a little bit further on this road, and then we'll do a little right, and then we're back into the woods, I think. Just about managed to get through that one alive, and now we're back into the woods, or at least into a path. 1.5 kilometres to go. 1.5 kilometres to go. So if we can make it back there before the rain starts, I'll be a happy bunny. It's also warming up a little bit, which is, it's nice, but at the same time, when you're coming towards the end of a walk, it starts, you know, you're already warmed up as it is. So a little look through this gate and see what the view's like, shall we? Unfortunately, it's a bit of a uneven path. Nothing we can't manage. See, it lulls you into a false sense of security by letting you come all the way downhill, and then as soon as you get to the bottom, it takes you straight back up again. Hello, little fella. How you getting on? It's a slow walk. Where are you trying to get to? I don't want to move him in case I put him in the wrong place. He might not want to go in the long grass. He might have spent all day trying to get to the short grass to make the journey easier, like me. So I'll leave him there and wish him good luck. If you'd said to me what was I going to do with my day, I don't think making a slug YouTube famous was going to be it, but there you go. Now then, let's walk over here just for a second, because you know what I'm like. The sun has been hidden this whole walk, and it is now beaming like you would not believe. It's so hot now, but it's lovely. It's really nice. Now I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this is my favourite tree. Not this specific tree itself, but this, which I believe, God help me if I'm wrong, but I believe is the oak. I just think they're beautiful. So we're on the last 500k. Very close to home. So, as always, I want to thank you for joining us, and hopefully you got to the end. As always, please like, subscribe and comment, and until the next one, take care.